I want to use this as an example because I've run into this a lot. Many people feel some type of way when I express how much I distrust white women. As a collective, right? Like, I have not been able to make myself see white women as trustworthy people. And it's not everybody, but mainly I enter into situations with white women treating them as if they're untrustworthy. And it's because of shit like this. That white women have a tendency to be very comfortable with my dehumanization, even to their detriment. Now, obviously, this is exaggerated because she's insane, but when white women prefer masculine men, they prefer men who are oppressively masculine. That happens in a myriad of ways, two of which are racism and misogyny. She only suffers from one of those things. What she is saying very clearly is that she's comfortable suffering from her thing as long as her man is allowed to be a man and make me suffer from my thing. Candidly, she is comfortable being abused as long as I am being lynched. There's absolutely nothing trustworthy about that type of person.
Hi, I'm Kylie, and here are 3 things that don't bother me as a white person. Number 1, when a person of color says they don't trust white people, I absolutely understand the sentiment and am not offended if you don't immediately trust all white people. On account of white people colonizing the world and then setting up a system of slavery and not taking accountability for any of the racism, I think this is a totally valid statement. It doesn't bother me because I don't feel like I contribute to the system in this way. Number 2, when a person of color says they don't date white people. Again, I'm not offended by this because even if the white person that you're seeing is really cool, their parents or their family might be crazy. They might be uber racist or come from a really strange environment and family that, quite frankly, you don't want to be involved with. That doesn't make you feel safe, which makes sense. And number 3, when people of color don't follow white feminist accounts. I understand there's a lot of white feminists who don't talk about intersectionality at all, or queer white feminists who don't talk about intersectionality, which is bizarre because every single struggle is so intimately connected. If any of these things bother you, you are taking this way too personally, and I recommend that you do the work to deconstruct what's going on. Because not everything's about you, and there's a racist system in place that you are probably contributing to. Okay, bye!
Did you know that white women were 40% of the slave owners in the US? So when black women say they would choose a bear over a white woman, this is one of the many reasons why. And keep in mind, women couldn't own a bank account until the 70s. Women couldn't own their own business until after I was alive. Without having a whole lot of rights, women were still 40% of the slave owners. And if you need more examples, during my time at corporate America, all of my biggest haters and dissenters were all white women. Okay, not the white men, white women, because we were taught that there's only so many positions for women at the top, and we had to fight each other for them. Rather than there being competition between like everyone at the company, women felt like they had to fight between themselves to get those spots. The majority of my biggest bullies in life have been older white women. Okay, and a lot of times those have been in work environments where I have been actively pushed down by other women. So the next time you get your panties in a bunch when a black woman says that she trusts a white man over a white woman, just try to remember some of these examples.
If I should start with the truth, black people, when they say they don't trust white people, they have their reason, and their reasons are open. You know, for over 400 years, black and white people in America have not lived on equal rights. The system, not individual white people, but the system built by them, was designed to keep one ground on control and the other on survival mode. They kept the white people in control and kept the black people in survival mode. Slavery and roots of distrust for hundreds of years. White slave owners built wealth on black labor. Families were torn apart, language and culture were stripped over, and violence was used to keep black people silent. Imagine growing up in a world where white means power and black means slavery. How do you feel? Anyway, we'll be right back, and when we come back, we'll talk more about this. Do not forget to like, share, and also subscribe to my channel to keep the channel going.
I'm a chronically online psychiatrist, and I've been following this recent drama of this big creator on this app who's been exposed for having racist tweets in the past. So am I shocked? No. This happens every single year like clockwork. And I don't feel like we talk about the trauma that black people face at the hands of white people that they thought they could trust. Like, as someone who grew up around a lot of white people, there was always this level of suspicion and just not trusting what they were saying behind closed doors. And now that we have this new era of influencers, and there's people that you think you can relate to as a black person, even though they're white, and then it always turns out that they have this racist past. And disappointment doesn't even begin to cover it. I think it's honestly very traumatic being a black person in this country, trying to have trust in people, especially white people, after all this stuff that's happened in the past, and thinking that times have changed and thinking that people know better, especially people that get online and try to be relatable and try to relate to different types of people. And then it always comes out that they're doing the exact same things that, you just didn't expect them to be doing. So I just want to validate the experiences of Black people. It's really hard to trust white people. And I think every single year, these influencers and these big names are always just proving why that is.
My close friend from college was robbed at gunpoint. When she went home that same night, she got kicked out of her crib. When she called me and asked me, could she come stay with me? And I told the bitch, hell no. Hold your ass. Let me explain. So my friend Vita calls me up after like a year of no contact. Prior to that, we had been friends for about 10 years. We didn't fall out or nothing, at least not that I knew of. I thought life had just taken us in different directions. I was building wealth, she was struggling. When she called me after all of this time, first thing that comes out of her mouth, me and Gary hanging with white people now. What the fuck you want me to do with that information? I mean, was the white people helping you level up, putting you on, investing in you? I mean, what's T-Boo? So fast forward a few weeks later, all the shit hits all the fans. So she working a graveyard shift at this cheap ass motel when she gets robbed at gunpoint. She screaming, she crying, she running, she banging on doors, and nobody is trying to help her. So the robber catches her, drags her back to the office, makes her unlock the safe and tells her, get on her knees, facing the wall with her hands behind her back. Now, of course, she thinking she about to get some hot lead to the back of the head. By the grace of God, he just takes the money out of the safe, take some stuff out of her purse and some few other things, and he just dipped. You would think that her man would be ready to ride for her. Think again. Now, her boyfriend, Gary, you remember her man, that she was bragging about how her and him is hanging out with the white peoples now. He had her car that night. She calling this nigga, he don't answer. So the hotel owner called her a cab to get her home. She get home, knock on the door, still no answer. Now she know he at the crib because she can hear the music blasting loud as hell from inside. She knocking, he is not answering. Now of course, she don't have her keys because her boyfriend got her car and her house keys are on the same keychain as her car keys. So she decided to go by her neighbor's house, who happens to also be her landlord. Okay, so neighbor agrees to let her in with the spare key. And baby, when she opened the door, there is her man, ass naked into some wild sloppy sex with the white woman that she telling me that she been hanging with. Remember how she hang with white peoples now? Come to find out, friend had joined some kind of little swingers club or something, child. She thinking that she done infiltrated some type of secret society or something. And maybe that is how it feel to be a swinger. I don't know. But here's what I do know. They had a agreement that they weren't supposed to be fucking around with each other's girlfriend and boyfriend without everybody's consent and knowledge. Well, both of them done broke the motherfucking code, right? He tell her, you got to get the hell out of here because I'm not finished handling what I'm trying to handle with a girl. After doing all this bragging, okay, about her new white friends that's so much better than me. Now she got to call me. She need a place to stay from her black friend. Why is it that after you get disrespected, disregarded, and left for dead, now I'm up. Now it's my turn to be friends again. I'm a good person, but I ain't that goddamn good.
To deal with internally. You can't judge people in 2021 based on events that happened in 1955. And if something happened in your past, you have to deal with that or else you're preventing yourself from living your life to the fullest. If I continue to judge people based on events that happened to me in college, I never would have moved to New Orleans because I never would have gone back to church. You may have a reason for why you feel the way you do about a certain people, but you're never justified in hatred. And then you said making us believe we're less than.
Trust y'all at all. I don't want to see none of y'all on my timeline. I know some of y'all are not racist, but majority of y'all are. If you were raised and taught in America, the great Jane Elliott said, you're racist. Because the systems in America is racist. Racism is not just calling somebody a name and calling somebody, that's prejudice. Racism is a system. And until you can dismantle it by using your privilege and speaking out and marching on the streets and calling your family members and friends out, I don't want to see none of y'all on my timeline. I appreciate the folks that's speaking out and trying to be woke and trying to awaken your counterparts, but I honestly don't want to see y'all on my timeline. I immediately not interested, because it's been going on too long. Come on now, I'm 36 years old and we still dealing with racism in 2025? Come on now, you still judging people by their skin color? Come on! That is a mental illness. Something is seriously wrong with your community where you are judging a whole other community based on the way that they look, based on the way that God created them to be. But you call yourself a Christian nation, but you're judging people the way that God made them? Something's not right. Something's not right. And I'm concerned. And I don't want any involvement. I don't want to see you all on my timeline. I don't want to be gaslit anymore. We know what's going on. You know what's going on. And we need you to speak up. Call these people out. I'm tired of seeing these videos on my timeline.
All right, y'all. So I've heard people, women, say, why don't women of color, specifically black women, trust us or like us? We didn't do the things that happened to their family and their ancestors. That was our ancestors. We're different. Why don't they trust us? We never did anything to them. Today, I'm here to provide you examples of why women of color, black women, Hispanic women, Native women, do not trust white women. Okay? Okay. Let's just start with this heifer. Okay? This heifer, I have to look at her name because I can't remember it, is Lily Gaddis. So Lily Gaddis was a trad wife influencer who has now shown her true colors, which are basically just a white pointy cap and a sheet. Okay? She went on Piers Morgan after she defended the next woman we're going to talk about, Shiloh Hendricks, after she defended Shiloh Hendricks for using the N-word. And this bitch, let's just call her what she is, said, yeah, I use the N-word. And when Piers Morgan was like, are you a racist or whatever? She's like, I guess people would call me that. Just unapologetically. And she feels that white people are being systemically targeted and shut down for their speech. Well, if you're gonna use the N-word and just be like, yeah, I'm a racist, I mean, someone needs to shut down your speech. Yes, the First Amendment says you get to say what you want, but it does not say that you are free from the consequences of the words that come out of your cake hole. So here's one example of why black women and women of color do not trust white women. The next is Shiloh Hendricks. This bitch was in a park in Rochester, Minnesota, and she called a child the N-word because she thought that the child stole her diaper bag. And then when confronted about it by a black man who was filming it, she also called him the N-word. Girlfriend wasn't scared then when she was running her pie hole up in the park. She wasn't scared. She was a real brave blonde bitch when she was running her mouth. But now apparently she's scared for her family. And y'all, this woman has raised hundreds of thousands of dollars, presumably from other ignorant women who look like her. So if you want to know why black women and other women of color do not trust women, white women, example number 2. But it doesn't end with just random people in the world being ignorant. We got this ignorant bitch, Marjorie Taylor Greene. First of all, every time she opens her trap, something ignorant comes out of it. But if you will remember when she got mad at Jasmine Crockett, who by the way is a queen and is 5 times more of a woman than this heifer will ever be. She attacked her looks and talked about not being able to read because of her false eyelashes. Okay, attacking black women's looks historically is a way to try to suppress them, repress them, oppress them. Words. I'm not editing that out because words are hard. So in our government, this woman who probably sucks the president's, that just went real, but almost got real gross. She is elected by people in her district, even though they know exactly who she is and what she is. Okay. And then we've got this person whose name I couldn't even remember yesterday. Y'all, I reposted a video of another congresswoman ripping her to shreds, and it was beautiful. Anyway, Kristi Noem, in addition to being a puppy killer who carries thousands of dollars of cash in her passport in her purse like an idiot, she apparently was the governor of South Dakota. I really actually just learned that today. I didn't know what hole she crawled out of. And she said that the natives there in her country, the indigenous people, the Native Americans, that they were benefiting from drug cartels, and that drug cartels were using reservations to traffic drugs and women and children. Did she have any evidence of that? No, she didn't. She just wanted to vilify some people and try to make things harder for a group of people that, white people have already screwed over for generations. So if you wonder why black women and women of color don't trust white women, this bitch. She's got some extensions though, don't she? And lastly, the face of my nightmares, and I know somebody will come for my looks. That's fine. You're not going to hurt my feelings. It's okay. Y'all, that is, I think I actually do have a nightmare with this as a clown face. I'm not kidding. But anyway, this bitch, when it was time for the election time, the time when the running was happening, presidential election, she made a post on the cesspool that is Twitter about the White House smelling like curry if Kamala Harris got elected. And even old Marjorie Taylor Greene, that old heifer, even said, that's too far. That doesn't represent the Republican Party. I feel like it exactly represents the Republican Party. And on top of this, let us not forget that 42% of white women got it wrong in the election. I think it was 92% of black women got it right. We let down every race of every woman in this entire country. So, don't ask again why white women can't be trusted. Even those of us who try to use our privilege for good and be a voice for those who don't have one or have less of one, or those voices that have been systemically suppressed in this country, even we're not perfect. We're doing the best we can, but you know what? At least we're trying. Some people, you talk a good game, but what the hell are you really doing? So don't ask again why women of color, specifically black women, even though I touched on Indian women and Native Americans, don't ask why they don't trust white women. Instead, do the work so that you are a trustworthy white woman. Okay, that's all. Blessed day to everybody except the 42% of white women who voted for Donald Trump. Y'all get nothing. Okay, thank you. Bye.
In America, you're going to learn this lesson at least once. So back when I used to work at call centers, I had a sundown sister ask to borrow $10 from me. I was like, yeah, for sure. Here you go. Give it to her, right? A few days later, it's payday. Everybody got paid. I didn't get paid because I started the job late, so I didn't get paid to the following week, or I didn't get paid to the next time everybody gets paid. So I asked her to borrow $10, and she was like, "Ooh, I don't have it." Which, again, you don't know me, I don't know you. Like, you have no obligation towards me, bro. Whatever your reasoning, if you did have it, you don't have to give it to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm to find out that same day she gave somebody else money who asked for it, who was also on the same pay week that I was, so they didn't get paid. They asked for it, she gave it to him. That person just so happened to be white. Which at the time, even then, like, I was like, I'm not even tripping. Like, you don't know me, I don't know you, bro. Like, it was whatever. Bro, tell me how a couple weeks later a group chat gets leaked. Group chat gets leaked, bro, with her and other coworkers that we had at the site, right? And in that group chat, she said, "I don't give black people money because it makes me feel like a Quaker." Please go Google what Quaker means. Please go Google what Quaker means, bro. That's not even the craziest shit, bro. The only reason the group chat got leaked was because her and another girl in the group chat, they were beefing over a dude, work husband drama. You know how that go. The dude was black.
This is a plain example on why I would never trust white people again. New fear fucking unlocked. Imagine you're sleeping in your bed peaceful. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Then you start hearing rumbling and crumbling outside your door. You go out there and you realize that somebody you live with done invited white people to your house. Right? You ask these white people to leave, but they're so drunk that they're not even listening to you. They decide they're going to continue the party. So you go back to sleep. And this white girl is harassing your cat, picking him up, trying to kiss him, all of this shit. And then your cat is over it, so she scratches her eyes out. The white bitch eyes out. Now this white bitch trying to sue you. Allegedly. And then to add injury to fucking insults, imagine that white bitch calls you a couple days later and says, "So my lawyer needs to make a detailed statement about the incident. So can you remind me what happened and what the address of the location that it happened at?" I will never trust white people again. White people are not allowed to come to my house. At all. Like, bitch, you were so fucking inebriated that you don't know what happened and where it happened at, and you expect for me to give you those details when I was asleep and you were not even welcome in my house to start with? Yeah. No, ma'am. I'm sorry, I love my white friends, but if I haven't known you for at least 30 years and I'm only 28, you can't come to my house. Allegedly.
The reason why I don't have no white friends is because they are passive-aggressive people. I said what I said. They are. The amount of times I could tell you a white person has brushed past me without saying excuse me, literally said some weird shit out of their mouth, and I had to tell them what you said, ask them what you said, like check them about it, is insane. Another reason is also that a lot of white people lack self-awareness. They lack it so bad. I understand that we are living in a white supremacist society, but watch how y'all act around people or how y'all talk to people. Some of y'all lack self-awareness, and it shows each and every time. And not to mention, like, I feel as though for me as a black person, I'm obviously self-aware a lot of times because I know how black people are perceived on the media, in society. Wherever I go, I know how black people are perceived or how a black person is perceived as. However, being around white people, you realize that they don't have that same problem. So they are able to do and say whatever they want. And when they get too comfortable, you gotta start checking them. Period.
I've learned to feel uncomfortable around white people. I grew up in a predominantly white community. I didn't get exposed to more black people that grew up around black people until I was older. I've learned to feel uncomfortable around white people. Black people have unraveled so many different racist things that white people have done around me, to me, that I never noticed. I've learned from white people being around them that they've made such disrespectful remarks with a light execution so that it's interpreted as a joke, you know, the passive aggressive racial things. I've naturally learned to start feeling uncomfortable. Almost every single white person that I've met in my life that I've trusted has all said something that lets me know they look at black people as beneath them. I have white relatives that will denounce black people when they're extremely angry. I've worked in customer service around white people, and when a very angry, irate customer comes in that's black, after they leave, they refer to them as ghetto. And the same thing happens with a white person, and they refer to them as a bitch. I've been around white people who use a black person's dark skin as one of the adjectives making him or her ugly. I've been told it's a good thing I don't look like a black girl. I've had white people tell me that my mom is a Tigger lover. I've also been told I'm lucky I don't have nappy hair. A white person also told me to go live on welfare like the black bitch I am. So how exactly am I supposed to feel comfortable around white people after that? Because people be trying to tell me slavery doesn't exist anymore. I don't think it needs to for me to feel uncomfortable.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So when a black person says I don't trust white people, they are not speaking from hate, they are speaking from experience. It is a reaction of centuries of harm, not a cause of fate. And you know that real trust cannot grow on silence or guilty. It grows when white people face history, not just to read it, no, and use their privilege to break the system that built that distrust in the first place. Healing starts with truth, and the truth is this: black distrust is not the problem. The problem is the system that created it. And until changes happen, black people have the right to protect their peace, their safety, and their pride. Thank you for watching this video with me. What is your thoughts? Put in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, and also subscribe to my channel to help the channel out. I'll see you guys in my next video.